Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome in. If you're new here, hi, my name is Joshua. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today we're going to be watching I'm going to be reacting to every Bankai explained in 28 minutes, and that's on period. By Anime in Minutes, girl. October 23rd, 2024, period. Period, yes. It is a year old. So girl, let's go ahead and dive on in, shall we? And they just dive straight into it, child. I played a little bit of it. I wasn't listening, but I played a little bit of it just to see what's what, and they dive straight on into it. So period. No tea, no shade. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah. Yes. Gin Minazuki. Uh so yeah, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched Bleach nor Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, read the anime, because this right here is from, this is going to happen in the fourth part 4, whenever it comes out. Yeah, whenever it comes out. So yeah, because this I already seen a video about it before. So yeah. What's his name? Kuchiki, if I remember correctly, Kuchiki. This is his Bankai. So yes, spoiler alert, child. Hell, we haven't even, hell, they didn't even like animate it yet. You know, y'all know what I mean. Like, we didn't see it. Like, they got it in the manga, of course, but I mean, technically they do have it animated right here, but whatever, y'all know what I mean. Like, it didn't air. It didn't air. The whole thing, the whole Bankai, whatever. Anyways, let's dive on in, shall we? Oh, I'm covering up her face. Minazuki, yes. Again, major spoilers.
Zanka no Tachi is the insanely powerful Bankai of Genryusai
Zanka no
Yamamoto,
Tachi.
the captain of the 1st Division and the captain commander of the entire Gotei 13. When he activates it, all the flames from his division and the captain commander Zanpakuto, Ryujinjaka, which happens to be the oldest fire-type Zanpakuto, get absorbed
Oh,
into
wow.
his sword. Anything his sword cuts gets completely wiped out of existence. Yamamoto
Period.
himself becomes as hot as the sun, with
Incinerated. Incineration.
both his body and sword radiating insane heat. This Bankai has 4 special abilities. Zanka no Tachi East, Rising Sun Edge, focuses all that intense heat on the tip of his blade. It doesn't burn or explode, it just erases anything it touches. Even the Wundenreich's Blut defense can't block it. Zanka no Tachi West, Remnant Sun Prison Garb, covers his body in heat that reaches around 15 million degrees Celsius, making it impossible to get near him. Zanka no Tachi
Bitch. And you know what? I'm kind of rewatching it, and this is the episode that I'm on too. This is the episode that I'm on. Child, I don't remember him. So I guess this is just in the manga, the north, south, east, and west. I don't remember him like saying it out loud, like saying west or saying anything, like, y'all know what I mean. I don't remember him saying any of that, but so yeah, this has to be the manga, because obviously, you know, the manga has most, literally pretty much all the information, you know. The anime can only, no tea, no shade, the anime adaptation can only put so much in it. But yes, I need to go ahead and finish this episode, child. I mean, this is pretty much like, I think this is my 3rd time watching the episode. Girl, Yamamoto, I love it. Yamamoto, he was, at the same time, it's bittersweet because he wasn't even fighting Yuhabaha. It was like one of his Stern Ritters, one of his Quincy's. I don't think he was a Stern Ritter, but it was one of his Quincy's that was disguised as him. Like damn, Yamamoto, damn. Damn.
South, Great Burial Ranks of the 10 Trillion Fire Dead, is triggered when he stabs his sword into the ground, summoning anyone who has ever been killed by his flames to fight for him. They come up from the ground with enough force to wreck the ultimate Quincy defense spell. Lastly, Zanka no Tachi North, Heaven and Earth End in Ashes, is a slash of flames that obliterates anything it hits. He used this fiery Bankai 1000 years ago against Yuobak. He tried to do it again during the Thousand Year Blood War, but it turned out that he was tricked into defeating Royd Lloyd, disguised as Yuobak. The real Yuobak then appears and steals Yamamoto's.
Oh my god, I forgot he stole his. Oh, I forgot he stole his Bankai. Damn. But he didn't mention, or maybe he did. He didn't mention. He didn't mention that the surrounding area becomes like hot as hell. And I reacted to a video. I reacted to that fight, that little fight scene. Yeah, it's in the bleach. It's in the playlist. My bleach playlist. Fights. Yeah, the fights. Yeah, the fights is in my playlist.
Bankai before killing him. Katen Kyokotsu Karamatsu Shinju is Shunsui Kyoraku's
Yeah.
Bankai. Shunsui used to be the captain of the 8th Division, but after Yamamoto's death, he stepped up as the captain of the 1st Division and became the captain commander of the Gotei 13. When he activates his Bankai, black root-like tendrils spread around him, and his Zanpakuto spirit Katen Kyokotsu shows up behind him. There are 4 parts to this Bankai. In the first act, any injuries he and his opponent inflict on each other are shared. He used this during his fight with Lily Barrow, the leader of Yuobak's elite guards, which caused Lily to take some serious damage. In the second act, the opponent starts bleeding heavily from random spots that appear all over their body. In the third act, both he and his opponent are forced to drown in a huge amount of water, until one of them runs out of energy and drowns. And in the final act, Shunsui wraps a thread around his opponent's neck, and when it tightens, their head explodes. What makes this Bankai super dangerous is that it affects everyone nearby, including Shunsui's allies, so it's risky to use it in a group fight. Kanon Biraki.
Oh, damn. Cause from the looks of it, it like the whole place, the whole that was the Soul Society, like Yuhabaha and the Quincy's, they murked damn near everybody. They effed up the Soul Society. And the Soul Society is basically like a little island now. The Serite. The Serite is like a little island now, girl. But yes, they so that whole island looked like it was in like that everybody was underwater. Girl, I'm tired. But no tea, no shade. Kitsuke, Shisui, Shisui. I love Shisui. But yeah, Shisui. He was like, he was talking underwater. He was talking to his Bankai, flirting with her. Just always a flirt. So no tea, no shade. He was okay. He was fine.
Benihime Aratame is the so it's risky to use it in a group fight. Kanon Biraki Benihime Aratame is the Bankai of Kisuke Urahara, the former 12th Division captain and founder of the Shinigami Research and Development Institute. When he activates it, a giant woman in a revealing red robe appears, while Urahara keeps his seal sword for combat. The Bankai's power is all about restructuring anything it touches, which can be used offensively and supportively. On the offensive side, it can slice things open within its range, kind of like dissecting with a knife. On the supportive side, it can stitch things back together, which makes it great for healing. Urahara even used it to fix his eyes. He can also enhance things by restructuring them for better performance. The power works by cutting objects into parts and then sewing them back together with stitches. Urahara can also use his ability to clear paths, or let others move through obstacles and barriers, making it super versatile in both battle and support situations. Minazuki is the
Oh wow, okay. Okay, period. And we're going to see that, and we're going to see that Bankai come into action in the fourth part. Because if I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, Urahara Kitsuke. Who is Kitsuke? That is his name, Kitsuke. Ura. No, his name is You know what? Never mind. His name is Urahara. All right. He activates it in the season finale, in the third part season finale, if I remember correctly. So yes, we're going to see that come into action in the fourth part. I don't know when the fourth part is coming out, but baby, I'm ready.
Bankai of Retsu Unohana, the former captain of the 4th Division, who's known as the best healer in the Soul Society. When she
Yup.
activates her Bankai, she cuts her hand along the edge of her blade, and her Kido-like Zanpakuto liquefies into a thick blood-like substance. This liquid also appears around both Unohana and her opponent. Once most of the liquid flows out of the sword, what's left solidifies into a shorter katana. The blood-like substance from Minazuki can be used in powerful offensive and defensive ways. She can slash with her sword to create large, sharp blades of blood that can strike her enemies from a distance. She can also perform rapid slashes, forming smaller blades that create a loose sphere around her for protection. On top of that, she can heal herself super fast in her Bankai without needing Kaido. She used this Bankai in her battle with Kenpachi Zaraki, cutting him down multiple times before he eventually overpowered her, to solely claim the name of Kenpachi, which also led to the awakening of his Zanpakuto, and eventually acquired his own Bankai. Kenpachi Zaraki, the
Yeah, Kenpachi was that was a little confusing. See, damn. So even in the manga, no tea no shade, like no tea no shade at all. Even in the manga, he doesn't have a Bankai. Like Kenpachi, he's the second Kenpachi. Kenny, whatever his real name is, this is a lunatic. This is a lunatic. Like the woman, I forgot her name already, but the woman, that's why her hair, she wears her hair in a single braid. She wears it like that to cover up that scar. Cause Kenpachi was a kid. Kenny, whatever his name is, was a kid. That nigga stabbed her. That nigga killed multiple niggas. And one of the people, one of the subordinates, one of her subordinates, I think, if I remember correctly, one of the subordinates was like, "Wow, when did you kill all these people?" She was like, "Nigga, what is you talking about? I just got here. I didn't kill them." Kenny killed all them niggas and then stabbed her, trying to kill her. This nigga is a demon. Like, where did he looked a mess? He was, I guess he was homeless. That might be, maybe he snapped. Child, maybe he done snapped. He done seen something when he was a kid, and it made him snap and just start. Go- but yeah, child. Where was I? Yeah. So that's why ever since then, I don't know. I don't know. She's been all quiet and subdued and shit. And that's why she got that little braid, that big ass long braid like that to cover up that scar, that wound and shit. Until the day comes where they go face to face. Hundreds, thousands, 8,000, maybe 1,000, I think 1,000 years later. Another thing, if y'all don't know about Bleach, everyone in this show, in the Soul Society, the Quincy's, everybody is old as hell. Like literally old as hell. But yeah, but yeah, I gotta rewatch that episode. I gotta rewatch that episode, child. And you know what? I heard something else. I'm gonna let this play out. Unnamed Bankai. I'm gonna let this play out, but I heard something else. I don't know if this person is going to talk about it. Is going to say it.
captain of the 11th Division, finally awakens his Bankai during his battle with Gerard Valkyrie, one of Yubak's elite guards. We never get the full name of his Bankai, but when he activates it, his skin turns red and he grows horns on his face, making him look like a demon. In this form, Kenpachi becomes a mindless berserker who is completely driven by the fight. His Zanpakuto spirit, Nozarashi, mentions that if he used her properly,
It is exactly. Don't you? There's nobody you can't cut if you use me properly. Don't you know anything? This power. What did you just do?
he could cut down anyone. His sword changes into a shorter, jagged cleaver, a more brutal version of its Shikai form. This Bankai gives him an insane boost in strength and cutting power, as he easily topples the gigantic Gerard Valkyrie with a single blow.
Yeah, this is spoiler. Oh yes, this is definitely spoiler because I thought he because I thought he unleashed his Bankai, but I guess not. During the fight with I one of the Stern Ritters, one of the letters of the alphabet, all them Stern Ritters is the letter of the alphabet, girl. I forgot what letter he was. Shit. But yeah, I thought he unleashed his Bankai then, or I guess he unleashed part of it. I then again, maybe he did unleash his Bankai. What was that dude? The dude is like he copies the person's his opponent's strength, and he ended up dying because basically Kenpachi's strength is unmatched. Basically, technically, if I remember correctly, I gotta rewatch that. Girl, I technically need to rewatch all these episodes. Shit, but this is definitely spoiler. So, in other words, in part four, Kenpachi, yeah, Kenpachi. Oh yeah, that's right. Kenpachi is going to be healed because that man, I don't like that man. That man, the scientist man, that be wearing the mask and he and that big robe and yeah, yeah, I don't like him. But yeah, so he was healing him. He put Kenpachi and some of the others in like a little healing tube thing. Okay, so he's gonna wake up, bust out that tomb, out that thing, and defeat him. Because also in the season finale, this nigga, come to find out, he is the heart. He is the Soul
Rips his
King's.
arm
Oh shit. He is.
version of its Shikai form. This Bankai gives him an insane boost in strength and cutting power, as he easily topples the gigantic Gerard Valkyrie.
He ends up. Come to find out, he is the Soul King's heart. Something like that. Yes, the Soul King's heart. So yeah, yeah. This is crazy. And he ended up like growing, getting larger and larger and shit like that, and started knocking over buildings and shit. You see that big ass arm right there?
With a single blow, rips his arms off and even slices him in half from a distance. However, Kenpachi's body can't fully handle the power, and he ends up losing an arm because of it, despite
Damn, I released too much of your power. Sorry, Kenny. Period. And that's what Married to the Real. I think Tasha from Married to the Real. I think she said it. She said, "What if the little girl was his Bankai the whole time?" She's something like that, something like that. And I was like, what if? Well, what if? Because he was looking for her. Basically, they took her, and she got that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because if I remember correctly, even in the first series, Bleach, I think everyone can see her. Because I was wondering, can people see her? Yeah, I think everybody can see her, and she's been with him for a long time. Like she's been with him for a long. I don't think since he was a kid, but she's been with him for a very, very long time. And that's crazy. And she got her own little powers. In one of the episodes, she used her sword, something like that. And she used her powers or whatever. What is it? Hado? I think she used her Hado. This is crazy, girl. This is crazy. So come to find out, she was his Zanpakuto slash Bankai the whole time. The whole time. Cause I do remember she was looking for him. He was looking for her. Like, cause that same Stern Ritter that can copy your strength, if I remember correctly, end up kidnapping her, I think. And yeah, somebody she was missing, something like that, something like that. I think he thought she was dead or something, because it was like her clothes, the clothes she's wearing, her clothes was just there, like on the ground in one scene. So yeah, pretty much. And period, it's true. Period. Period. She is the Bankai.
Despite how crazy strong this Bankai is, Gerard survives because Shrift automatically brings him back to life. Tensa Zangetsu
Well, shit, the nigga. Okay.
is Ichigo Kurasaki's Bankai, and one of the main protagonist's trump cards in his fights.
Well, one of his Bankais, I guess. One of his Bankais, something like that. Ichigo is like complicated. Girl, Kenny is also complicated. Shit.
For most of the series, his Bankai transforms his Zanpakuto into a simple black katana, while he himself dons a black outfit. This form enhances his speed, reflexes, and durability, while also boosting the strength of his Getsuga Tensho attack. Ichigo first used Tensa Zangetsu in his battle with Byakuya Kuchiki, and went on to use it
Oh,
against other major opponents like Aizen, Grimmjow, and Ukiura. But the
Aizen. Yeah, I like that when he had the chain. He had the chain wrapped around his arm. This was the yeah. This was like the final. This was the final showdown. His orange hair. Yes, yes.
Grimmjow, and Ukiura, but the true form of Tensa Zangetsu is revealed during his fight against Yuabak. To activate his true Bankai, Ichigo brings the two
Yuhabaha.
blades of his Shikai together, triggering a surge of energy that surrounds him and the swords. In this form,
Period. 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 Definitely major spoiler. Major spoiler. This is going to happen in the fourth part. I'm pretty sure.
Tensa Zangetsu looks like a variation of a huge kyber knife, with the smaller black blade as the inner part of the sword and the handle wrapped in
Oh,
black, similar to the original Tensa Zangetsu's katana-like grip. While we don't know the full extent of its powers, it allows Ichigo to unleash an insanely strong golden-colored Getsuga Tensho. This blast was powerful enough to nearly kill Yuabak, who only survived thanks to the Almighty reversing his own death. When Yuabak tries to break Tensa Zangetsu, the white portion of the blade crumbles to reveal Ichigo's original Shikai within, which Ichigo uses to cut him down for good. Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi Shikai within, which Ichigo uses to cut him down for good.
say what? So it was. So wasn't it? I thought it was, and I thought the other one also was a. Yeah, because Ichigo got two swords. I thought Ichigo. Oh, I thought. Yeah, I thought Ichigo was fighting. Like his Bankai also was two swords.
Activate his true Bankai, Ichigo brings the two blades of his Shikai together,
Yep, and that's the. I think from the looks of it, that's the horn. Yep, that's the horn.
triggering a surge of energy that surrounds him and the swords. In this form, Tensa Zangetsu
Oh, okay. I guess not. Okay, I guess because I thought his Bankai, the Bankai form, he still had two swords. But okay, he just said okay. He put some. Okay.
Etsu looks like a variation of a huge kyber knife, with the smaller black blade as the inner part of the sword and the handle wrapped in black, similar to the original Tensa Zangetsu's katana-like grip. While we don't know the full extent of its powers, it allows Ichigo to unleash an insanely strong golden-colored Getsuga Tensho. This blast was powerful enough to nearly kill Yuabak, who only survived thanks to the Almighty reversing his own death. When Yuabak tries to break Tensa Zangetsu, the white portion of the blade crumbles to reveal Ichigo's original Shikai within, which Ichigo uses to cut him down for good. Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi is the Bankai of Byakuya Kuchiki,
Period.
captain of the 6th Division and the 28th head of the
Zenbon
Kuchiki
Sakura.
clan. To activate it, Byakuya drops his sword straight down and it sinks into the ground. Seconds later, 2 rows of 1,000 giant blades rise from the ground, which then scatter into countless tiny blade petals that swarm and pierce the enemy. There are so many blades that he can use them for both offense and defense by forming a body shield entirely made of these blades. This Bankai has different forms, depending on how he arranges the blades. In Senkei form, the scattered petals combine into thousands of glowing swords that surround the enemy in 4 rows. In this form, he can use all the swords with equal attack power. In Gokei form, the number of tiny blades increases dramatically to form a sphere around the opponent. The blades then swirl like a cloud, before crashing into the target from every direction, leaving no room to escape. In Shukei Hakuteiken form, All the blades condense into a single powerful sword that drastically boosts his cutting power, allowing him to deal massive damage with a single strike. He first used this Bankai to defeat Renji in one blow, and later
Oh.
Ichigo on Sokyoku Hill. Byakuya also used it to defeat the 7th Espada, and later Tsukishima when he cleverly lets his Bankai enter his hurtless area. However, Byakuya almost lost his life and his own Bankai when Asnot stole it. After reclaiming it, he used it to
Uh-huh.
deal serious damage on Gerard Valkyrie. Haka no Togame is it. He used it to deal serious damage on Gerard Valkyrie. Haka no Togame is
Okay, period.
Rukia Kuchiki's Bankai, and it's pretty unique in that it changes her physical appearance.
It surely does, period. Elsa who? Elsa where? But yeah, he did. Okay, so he's gonna use it to defeat Valkyrie. Okay. Okay. Cause I remember he did kill him, like he did kill him or he thought he killed him, but he didn't release his Bankai for that. So yeah, okay. All right. If I remember correctly, yeah, he didn't release his Bankai for Valkyrie.
Her hair turns white, she wears a long white kimono, and her sword becomes transparent ice. This Bankai enhances her ability to lower the temperature to absolute zero. When she activates it, a column of cold mist rises around her. By raising her sword, Rukia unleashes a massive wave of freezing cold that instantly freezes everything in its path, much like her Hakurin attack but on a much larger scale. What's wild about this form is that even touching Rukia will make others start freezing solid because her body becomes so cold. She learned how to use this Bankai while training at the Soul King's palace, which explains why she's only used it once in combat. When she fought Asnot, her Bankai not only countered his fear-based attacks, but also caused his entire body to break apart. Though Haka no Togame has the potential to be incredibly powerful, since there's a very real risk of her own body shattering due to the extreme cold. Kamishini no Yari break apart. Though Haka no Togame has the potential to be incredibly powerful, since there's a very real risk of her own body shattering due to the extreme cold. Kamishini no Yari is Jin Ichimaru's Bankai, and while it looks like a Shikai, its abilities are way more powerful. Jin's Bankai keeps the same core power as his Shikai, but amps up its cutting force, length, and speed to insane levels. He can
Yes,
cut
it
an entire
does.
town in half from far away, with a single slash. Jin claims his sword can extend up to 8 miles, at a speed 500 times the speed of sound, and the blade retracts just as quickly. This makes it the fastest Zanpakuto, though surprisingly not the longest. This Bankai has two main techniques. The first, called Koruse, is
Surprisingly not the longest. I'm fucking tired. What's the longest Bankai? Damn.
its true ability. It's not about its length or speed, but the fact that the blade can turn into dust for a split second when it extends and retracts. This allows the blade to release a deadly poison that breaks down cells. Jin can leave a tiny piece of his blade inside his opponent when he pulls it back, and whenever he wants, he can kill them by making their body dissolve from the inside out. The second technique, Buto, involves Jin gripping the sword with both hands, while holding the hilt to his chest. He then uses Kamishini no Yari's extension and contraction at an even more terrifying speed to create a mass of blades that makes it almost impossible for the target to dodge. Jin first uses Bankai ability on Ichigo in fake Karakura Town, but he wasn't really trying to kill him. Later he tried to kill Aizen using his Bankai's true ability, but Aizen survived thanks to Hogyoku. Daiguden Hyoden Maru is the Bankai of Toshiro Hitsugaya, the captain of the 10th Division in the Gotei 13, with the most powerful ice element Zanpakuto. His sword lets him create and control both water and ice, and in Bankai form, he can handle even bigger amounts of them. Just like his dragon-shaped Shikai, he can freeze stuff in entire areas, but this time, he has a larger radius and way more power. With his form, Hitsugaya gains access to a bunch of new abilities, like Bankai Regeneration, making a realistic ice clone of himself, and freezing opponents on contact. He can also create ice pillars to surround and crush his targets, use snow that triggers ice flowers to sprout on enemies when it hits them, and turn water into ice to launch countless ice daggers at his foes. Plus he gets cool icy dragon wings that he can wrap around himself as a shield, and a tail that he can swing around as a weapon. Fans thought the ice flowers floating behind him were just a timer for how long his Bankai would last, but actually, they show how long it'll take for Daiguden Hyoden Maru to fully mature. It gets extremely dangerous when it does.
Oh.
As Toshiro ages into an adult, in this matured state, he can flash freeze anything with just a hand gesture, and if someone touches him, they instantly freeze. This ice is special because it cancels out the spiritual energy and abilities of anyone it catches, so if anyone touches Hitsugaya while he's in this form, they're complete toast. He used his incomplete Bankai to take down Xiaolong Kofang, and even trapped the third Espada Tyr Haribel for a bit. He also used it to defeat Yukio, a young Fullbringer, and later on, he took out King Du during the second Quincy invasion. After the final battle against Aizen, Hitsugaya really worked on improving his incomplete Bankai, and its true matured form is finally unleashed during his fight
Ooh.
against Jiraiya on improving his incomplete Bankai, and its true mature
Period. Period. Yes, Hisugaya. He's finally an adult.
third form is finally unleashed during his fight against Gerard Valkyrie. Konjiki Ashisogi Jizo belongs to Mayuri
Yeah, I don't like him.
Kuretsuchi, the captain of the 12th Division in the Gotei 13, and the second president of the Shinigami Research Institute. His Shikai is all about using poison that acts as a neurotoxin, but his Bankai, it's even more lethal, even though it has a very strange appearance. In its original form, it's a worm-like body with a golden baby's head, and it breathes out some seriously deadly poison that can spread over a 200-meter area. Plus, it has tons of retractable blades in its chest, and can self-destruct as a last-ditch resort. When it goes into its modified form, it turns into a giant purple-skinned baby that can create different versions of itself. After Mayuri figures out what an opponent can do, he sends that information to his Bankai, which then whips up specific abilities to counter whatever the enemy throws at him. The body of this Bankai can be destroyed pretty easily, but this can be overlooked because it's balanced out by its super powerful abilities. Interestingly, this was the first Bankai ever shown in Bleach, and Uryu was the first
Oh
character to
wow.
face off against it. Luckily, Uryu managed to take it down with a boosted Quincy arrow. Later on,
That's right. It was. It surely was. Yep, that's right. It surely was the first Bankai. Yeah. And the second Bankai to be revealed was excuse me. If I remember correctly was Zenbone Sakura. Scatter. Excuse me.
Mayuri used his Bankai against the 8th Espada, who ended up getting eaten by his creepy Bankai. When he fought Pernita, Mayuri used his modified Bankai to create a version with nerves all over its body. Even though that caused it some serious pain just by touching the air and ground, it helped resist Pernita's power, because its nerves split into 70,000 layers, which would peel off if Pernita's nerves tried to enter it. Koko Gonryo Rikyu is the Bankai of Chojuro Sazakibe, the lieutenant of the 1st Division. To kick this
Yeah.
form into gear, Chojuro raises his Zanpakuto high above his head,
Mm-hmm.
which makes dark clouds gather in the sky. Then, he unleashes a bolt of lightning from his sword that stretches out and turns into a dome of lightning hanging over him, held up by a bunch of lightning pillars. There's also one big pillar reaching from the top of the dome into the sky. He can control the lightning bolts with his hands, or use them to turn his sword into a lightning spear. This Bankai gives off some seriously powerful Ryatsu, and can even mess with the weather, kind of like Toshiro's Bankai, but it focuses more on thunder and lightning storms, creating dark clouds to amp up his power. When he swings his sword, Chojuro can channel a ton of lightning into it while moving to attack his opponent. Legend has it that 1,000 years ago, this technique was strong enough to leave a scar on Yamamoto's forehead. Chojuro tried to use his Bankai when the Quincy's declared their invasion, but Driscoll came in and stole it the moment it was activated. Kinshara Butodan is the Bankai of Rojiro
Mm-hmm.
Otoribashi, the captain of the 3rd Division in the Gotei 13. His Shikai is a golden whip that uses sound as a weapon, but when he activates his Bankai, he can create physical illusions through music. It brings forth a giant pair of hands, a conducting wand, and a bunch of massive dancers. The music
Mm-hmm.
he plays is designed to trick his opponent's hearts, and as long as they're fooled, these illusions can actually deal real damage. The dancers are responsible for creating the illusions, and if Rojiro wants, he can even make them stop his opponent from breathing. He can finish off his enemies in 3 main ways. The sea drift technique has the dancer surround his
Girl,
opponent and spin around, creating a whirlpool of rushing.
girl, I'm fucking tired. I remember he. Yeah, I remembered. I mean, I kind of remember it, but I don't remember it like that. Girl, now make him stop breathing, girl.
In water. Thanks to the Bankai, the target really feels like they're being drowned and constricted in that whirlpool. The Prometheus technique has the dancers conjuring fire in their hands before surrounding the target in flames. Again, the opponent genuinely believes they're being burned while experiencing real pain. The last technique, called Ian Helden Leben, still remains a mystery. When Rojiro tried to use it against Masked and Masculine, the Sternritter countered it by destroying his own eardrums, rendering the Bankai useless if Rojiro's opponent cannot hear the music.
Damn, I forgot. Yeah, yeah, I forgot he did that. He sure did do that.
Kokujo Tengen Myoyo is the Bankai of Shajin Kumamura, the former captain of the 7th Division. When he activates this form, he summons a massive giant that's
Yeah, I like that one. No tea, no shade. No tea, no shade. I always thought it's like for some reason I always thought he was a bear. I thought he was a big ass bear for some reason, but no, he. I guess because he's so wide, he got a big back and he's so wide and burly. I guess that's why. But no, he's a wolf.
decked out in full armor. This giant mimics his moves and swings around a huge sword that's pretty much like his own. Since it's so big, the giant can dish out a ton of damage, way more than Komamura can on his own. Plus, it's surprisingly fast because it can instantly copy all of Komamura's actions. The only downside is that whatever damage the giant takes, Komamura feels it as well. This Bankai was first seen against Kenpachi Zaraki. Though it wasn't a serious matchup, it easily took down Choi Ning Pao, Berrigan's largest fraction. Later, it faced off against Tozen and Aizen, who both landed some serious hits on it and Komamura. When Komamura shifts back to his human form, he can tap into his Bankai's ultimate form, the Dangai Jo. In this version, the giant sheds its armor to reveal a body made entirely of pure Ryatsu. In this form, the giant can't take any physical damage since Komamura becomes temporarily immortal. The Dangai
Oh,
Jo form made its debut during the Thousand Year Blood War arc,
yep.
where it defeated Bambietta of the Sternritter, all while she was in her Quincy Volstendig form. Suzumushi
She started running. She started flying away. I want them to show him, like, show his full body, cause him in his human form, bitch, that's what you call a silver daddy. He was a silver fox, a silver wolf, a silver daddy. Yes. Ooh.
Suishiki, Enma Kurogi, is the Bankai of Volstendig form. Suzumushi Suishiki, Enma Kurogi, is the Bankai of Kaname Tozen, the former captain of the 9th Division in the Gotei 13, before he turned against the Soul Society. When he activates it, Tozen
Mhm.
releases a plethora of glowing rings to create a huge black void that expands into a massive dome that traps him and his opponent. The black dome is anchored to the ground by 10 rings. Once trapped, the dome cuts off spiritual energy and takes away senses of sight, sound, and even smell. The only sense the target can keep is touch. Unlike some Zanpakuto, Suzumushi doesn't turn into a dome itself. Instead, the dome is like an extension of it. This lets Tozen use the sealed form of his sword as a weapon while he's inside, but he can't use its abilities. One downside is that anyone touching the hilt of Suzumushi is completely immune to the dome's effects, so if someone grabs it, they get their senses back right away. The dome sticks around as long as Tozen wants it to, or until he gets seriously injured. Tozen only used his Bankai once in the series, and that was against Kenpachi Zaraki, who initially relied on his instinct after his senses were nullified. In the end, Kenpachi pulled off an incredible strategy to grab Tozen's sword hilt before it could cut into his shoulder and counter by slashing Tozen across his chest, which later shattered the dome. Ryuman Hozoki Maru is the Bankai of Ikaku Madarame, the lieutenant and former 3rd seat of the 11th Division. To activate it, Ikaku shifts his Shikai back into his spear form, which then transforms into 3 different weapons linked by a thick metal chain.
Damn. Yeah, and I remember he didn't like it. He doesn't. I remember he doesn't like his Bankai because it's so big or something like that. He said I can't remember why, but But yeah, he doesn't like his Bankai because it's so big. I think he believes it's ugly. Something like that.
The main weapons are a monk's spade and a pole-like weapon, along with a huge axe blade with a dragon crest above its head. Once his Bankai is active, Ikaku's Ryatsu rises, and the dragon crest starts filling with a red color. It turns red faster as Ikaku gives and takes more damage, and it fills up even quicker when he spins the axe blade by the handle. According to Ikaku, his Zanpakuto is pretty lazy and only wakes up through battle injuries. When the dragon crest is fully filled, the Bankai reaches its full power. Ikaku has only used his Bankai once in the series, during a fight against Edred, one of Grimmjow's Fraction. Despite Edred's tough skin, the Bankai managed to cut through him. Suzabimaru is the Bankai of Renji, the lieutenant of the 6th Division.
Yup.
Renji first unlocked his Bankai after losing to Ichigo, and at that time, it took the form of a long skeletal snake, with segmented body parts that can detach and reattach at will. His first time using it was
Hmm.
against Byakuya, but Renji had not trained enough, so it got overpowered easily. Later on, he used it to take down one of Grimmjow's Fraction, but it wasn't effective against tougher opponents like Sayalaporo and Yami. What Renji was using then wasn't even the true form of his Bankai. After training at the Soul King's
Yup.
palace, he perfected it and achieved its true form, Suzabimaru. The
Yup.
snake skull from before became a gauntlet with a blade sticking out, and snake vertebrae now cover Renji's body. In this form, Zabimaru gains new special abilities. Hihio has serious power, able to crush bones and fling large opponents around easily. When Renji used Orochio, the vertebrae extend from his waist like a tail, and the blade grows bigger and serrated. After stabbing the opponent with the blade, Renji twists it like a key to form spiritual energy jaws, in a move called Zagatepo. The jaws look like a huge snake skull, and while they're biting down, Renji fires a blast of spiritual energy through the enemy, strong enough to turn
Oh yeah, he incinerated. I remember that he incinerated the wrestler dude, the wrestler looking lucha libre dude.
them into ash, just like when he incinerated Mask the Masculine. Jakuho Raikkoben
Okay,
is a
that's his
Bankai
name.
belonging to
The master.
Soifan, the captain of the 2nd Division and
Yes,
also
soy
the
fun.
leader of the Stealth Force. When she activates her Bankai, a burst of Ryatsu shoots up before fading away. The Bankai itself looks like a golden missile launcher that covers her right arm and goes up past her shoulder, forming a face shield that covers the right side of her face. This is a long-range weapon that she uses to fire a missile.
Yes,
She
it
has to
is.
lift and aim the massive missile by looking through the slits in the face shield for targeting. Once locked on, small fins extend from the missile before she fires, and tracks the target for a precise hit. When it connects, the explosion is huge, and can destroy lower level Espada. However, it's not strong enough to kill opponents like Barrigan or Sternritter BG9. During the fake Karakura Town arc, to kill opponents like Barrigan or Sternritter BG9. During the fake Karakura Town arc, Soifan hit Barrigan twice, but his aging ability neutralized the damage. Later in the 2nd Quincy Invasion, she lands a direct hit on BG9, though he survives thanks to his Quincy Volstandig form, but it still inflicted serious damage. Tekken Tachikaze is the Bankai of Kensei Muguruma, captain of the 9th Division. In Shikai form, his Zanpakuto turns into a combat knife that can slice through air to create blades. But in his Bankai form, his wind-type Zanpakuto turns into
Yeah.
2 knuckle blades with curved silver edges, and Kensei's arms get
Yeah. Yup. Yep. I remember this. I don't really remember the fight, but yeah.
wrapped in a segmented purple armor, which serves as his protection from the explosive power of his Bankai. The knuckle blades can even transform into brass knuckles, or spiked gauntlets. With his Bankai, Kensei channels the power of his Shikai into his fists, letting him throw punches that hit with explosive force. It's
Period.
perfect for close-range combat, but struggles against long-range enemies or opponents that can toughen up their bodies. Kensei first brings out this Bankai during the fake Karakura Town arc, in his fight against Wonderweiss. He also used it again when he goes against Mask the Masculine during the 2nd Quincy Invasion. If it wasn't for Mask's healing abilities, Tekken would have taken him down. Raika Goen Kaku is the wasn't for Mask's healing abilities, Tekken would have taken him down. Raika Goen Kaku is the Bankai of Shusuke Amagai, who briefly took over as captain of the 3rd Division after Jin Ichimaru. Amagai is a non-canon character, and he wielded a fire-type Zanpakuto.
Oh, girl. I show was looking. Okay, he's a non-canon character. That's why. I show was looking like, who is this? Harpo, who this man? Okay. And no tea, no shade. I skipped all of Bleach's fillers except for the bounce. The bounce filler. I watched most of it and I was like, something's off. I was like, something's off. The animation, it's like going on and on. It was like kind of drawn out. Not drawn out. A little drawn out. I was like, something's what's going on? And they wasn't really talking about Aizen. And I'm like, what's going on? And I had to look it up and come to find out because I was like, is this filler? If I remember correctly, it was a long time ago. If I remember correctly, I think I was like, is this a filler? Is this filler? What is this filler? Filler? You got fillers? Filler? Yes, it's filler, child. No Tino Shay. I did watch half of it. I kind of liked it, and I skipped it. I looked it up, like looked up what episodes is filler. Skip those, child.
His Shikai allows him to unleash powerful fireballs and flames, but his Bankai takes it up a notch. When he activates it, his Zanpakuto becomes an oversized crimson blade, with a hook at the end, and the hilt is covered by a big white shell that doubles as a shield. The ability is pretty straightforward, it simply powers up his flames. With this, Amagai can basically shoot massive fireballs, create fissures of flames, burn the ground in front of him, and trap his enemies in a cage of fire spears. It's like a supercharged flamethrower that can dish out some serious heat. That said, it's not invincible. Stronger flames can overpower it, and ice or water type Zanpakuto can snuff it out. Energy based attacks can also cut right through his fire. This Bankai was only seen during a filler arc when Amagai tried killing Yamamoto. Luckily, Ichigo stepped in to save Yamamoto and fought against the Bankai. In the end, this Bankai didn't manage to defeat any major opponents. Kugo Ginjo was the first substitute Shinigami, working
Unnamed Bankai. He was the first substitute. Oh, this is the dude. If I remember correctly, this is the dude that was that taught Ichigo how to full bring and shit like that. If I remember correctly. Hold on. Itadakimasu. Alrighty, let's go, baby. Cause yes. Cause this is the nigga. This nigga that helped Ichigo get his powers back using full bring and all that shit.
with the Soul Society opponent and fought against the Bankai. In the end,
God,
this
so
Bankai didn't manage to defeat any major opponents. Kugo Ginjo was the first substitute Shinigami, working with the Soul Society in his young years, before severing his ties with them for not trusting him. He's a full-bringer who gathered others like him to form the Execution Organization, becoming the main villain of the Lost Substitute Shinigami arc. When Ichigo fully activates his full-bring, Ginjo betrays him by stabbing him and stealing all of his power. With that, Ginjo gains access to his own still unnamed Bankai. This power boost amps up his spiritual energy big time, allowing him to go toe-to-toe with other Bankai users. It also covers parts of his body in skeletal armor. He can fire off enhanced versions of Getsuga Tensho and shoot spiritual energy beams from his sword. At the end of the day though, Ginjo's Bankai is basically a knockoff version of Ichigo's Bankai. In their final battle, Ichigo's Bankai proves to be way stronger, and he eventually overpowers Ginjo. Sakashima Yoko.
yeah. I only seen it once. I didn't rewatch it, so I don't remember it like that, child. And that was a twist, baby. That was a twist. Cause Uryu had got attacked and he never knew Uryu knew who attacked him, but Ichigo didn't know who attacked him. You know, Uryu know who to do how to do it looked, but Ichigo didn't know how to do it look. And Ichigo had been going to that man and them other niggas for like pretty much every day trying to get his powers back and this, that, and the third. Come to find out in the final two episodes, if I remember correctly, the final two episodes, Uriel was like, Ichigo, you don't understand. The dude behind you, which was that man, he's the one that attacked me. He's the one that. And I was like, I was like, bitch, oh my gosh. And just, yeah.
Shima Happu Fusagari is the Bankai of Shinji Hiro's Ginjo. Sakashima Yokoshima Happu Fusagari is the Bankai of Shinji Hiroko, captain of the 5th Division. In the fake Karakura Town battle, we saw his Shikai, which creates an optical illusion that inverts his surroundings. While his Bankai wasn't shown in the
Mm-hmm, with that. Oh, his Bankai was never shown in the manga. Okay. That no, not an asymmetrical child, whatever. With that slant, girl. He got that slant.
manga, it made an appearance in the Thousand Year Blood War anime. Shinji's Bankai is so dangerous that he's not allowed to use it in the Soul Society. When activated, large flower petals surround and encase him for protection. It then releases a mist that flips the perception of everyone, enemies and allies alike. This makes it ideal for fighting large groups, and everyone under its influence turns on each other, attacking without hesitation. Basically, it forces allies to see each other as enemies. In the anime, Shinji unleashes his Bankai to take out a group of Quincy, showing just how powerful and chaotic it can be in battle. Mukojochu Muramasa is the Bankai of Koga Kuchiki, the former 3rd seat of the 6th Division, who later rebelled against the Serete in the anime-only Zanpakuto Unknown Tales arc. When Koga activates his Bankai, there's a massive explosion of spiritual energy, and his Zanpakuto Muramasa actually manifests into the real world. What makes his Bankai so wild is that Muramasa can also appear in its sealed sword form, and use his powers without Koga even needing to give him commands. Muramasa's main ability is to control other Zanpakuto by making their spirits take physical form. Weaker Zanpakuto appear as shadowy figures, while those of lieutenants and captains fully materialize and are forced to use their abilities under Muramasa's control. It's a terrifying power because it could literally destroy the entire Soul Reaper faction if unchecked. Koga used this Bankai to wipe out multiple low-ranking Soul Reapers who were rebelling against Soul Society, showing just how dangerous and destructive this ability can be. Shitatsu Karagara Shigarami no Tsuji is the Bankai of Shenju Maru Shotara, a member of the Royal Guard and the 4th officer of the Zero Division. It
That's
never
right.
appeared in the manga, but it made its debut in the Thousand Year Blood War anime.
Oh, okay. It wasn't in the manga either. Shit, baby, that other Bankai, that was I need to look up how, cause we know how Shisui's Bankai looks. The woman, and yeah, the woman. But I think I seen Renji's Bankai before, true form or whatever, something like that. I don't remember. We seen Zangetsu, which was Yuhabaha. Come to find out that was Yuhabaha. Uh, in Bleach, every time Ichigo had to like have a talk with himself, like a pep talk or whatever, like a pep talk or whatever. Yeah, it was, yeah. And like he was always fighting in the city, and the city was underwater at one point, something like that. But yeah, it was, yeah. I think Renji's, maybe that's another anime. That might be Naruto. I might be thinking of Naruto because I remember there being a monkey, and the monkey's tail was a snake. I'm thinking that's Renji's Bankai, but I might be thinking of Naruto. Yeah, I might be thinking of Naruto, but whatever. I gotta look that up. The true form, the physical form of the Bankai, of the Zanpakutos.
In episode 26, her Bankai takes the form of a huge ornate loom, with countless clothes scattered around.
Yup.
Shenjumaru can weave an endless number of tapes
Yes.
ornate loom, with countless clothes scattered around.
He said countless clothes. Yes, with countless cloths, countless. I think that's what he said, or what he meant to say. Countless cloths, countless material. Yes, girl. She had cotton, polyester, Egyptian cotton, girl, silk. Girl, she had that motherfucking silk, girl. I said polyester, girl. What else? What other fabric? She probably had Velcro. Oh, girl, leather, girl. She probably had leather in
Senjumaru
there,
can weave
girl.
an endless number of tapestries, each one creating a different environment designed to trap and weaken her enemies. One environment produces intense flames,
Yes.
another reflects any attack back at the opponent, one traps them in black sand, and another drains their energy. This Bankai is so powerful that its release sends shockwaves through reality, strong
Their energy. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. This one right here. Yeah, I was energy, life force. Yeah, 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 yeah.
enough to wipe out a small army. Senjumaru used this ability
And one also freezes them solid.
only once, but it was enough to seemingly defeat all Yuobak's elite guards. Even Uryu was briefly taken down by it. Shirafude Ichimonji is the Bankai of
Yeah,
Ichibei Hyosube, the leader of the royal guard. His darkness type Zanpakuto, called Shinuchi, looks like a huge calligraphy brush, and uses
yeah.
black ink with special powers. If the ink touches someone, they lose all of their abilities. Shinuchi was actually the first Zanpakuto to gain a second form, back before the word Bankai even existed, which is why Ichibei calls it Shinuchi instead of Bankai. When he activates it, Ichibei can give or change the names of anything hit by Ichimonji's ink by writing kanji on their body. Whatever name he gives them, they take on those properties. When he used it on Yuobak, he named him Black Ant, which rendered the Quincy King powerless for a while, noting he had become as weak and powerless as an ant. However, Yuobak powerless for a while, noting
That I cannot believe my eyes can see this far in a closed state.
he had become as weak and powerless as an
Mhm.
ant. However, Yuobak uses his ultimate ability, the Almighty, to erase Ichimonji's seal. And really quick, if you enjoy straight to the point informative anime and manga content like this, without any sorts of fluff, then make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on because we post videos on here every 5 days. And also apologies for much of my pronunciations of these Bankai in advance. I promise
Okay.
that I tried my best. Well, that does it for every Bankai in Bleach explained. Let me know in the comments section if I somehow missed one, and what other Bleach topics you want us to cover next. In the meantime though, click the video you see on your screen right now to learn about every forbidden jutsu in Naruto, and we'll see you there.
Ooh, girl, not every forbidden jutsu in Naruto. Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna have to watch this. Girl, not every forbidden jutsu. Now the reanimation jutsu, that's probably the number one. Well, we they done use that so many times in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden and Boruto. But yeah, Naruto Shippuden. But yeah, oh excuse me. But yes, child, yes, I'm gonna have to subscribe to them. Period. I love it. I love that. But yeah, the forbidden jutsu. That's like probably the number one forbidden jutsu ever. Oh my god, the forbidden jutsu. I mean, the reanimation jutsu is probably the number one. It's probably the number one cause you bringing the dead back to life. Like you disturbing their peace. No ma'am, you disturbing their peace. Like I'm tired. But yeah, bitch, bitch. No tea, no shade. Obviously, the head captain, that one was the most powerful, most dangerous Bankai. But at the same time, the other person, I forgot the name, the person, their Bankai can control other Bankais. Oh no, that's also dangerous, bitch. I'm tired. That's like, oh yeah. Like, can anyone else's Bankai, like, if he tries to control a Bankai, a Zanpato or whatever, can that Zanpato Bankai like fight back? I'm pretty sure maybe. Uh, girl, that's crazy. That's crazy, and I need to find that channel, and I need to subscribe to them. I need to watch some more of their videos. I like that. I like that video. But yeah, and no tea, no shade. Yeah, straight to the point. I like that. But yes, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. I most definitely have to rewatch, not every single episode, but I need to rewatch Bleach, and especially Thousand Year Blood War. Yes, I surely do. But anyways, were y'all interested? Did y'all like it? Likey. Did y'all like it? Did y'all like it? Are y'all interested in watching Bleach? Is y'all waiting for season 4, part 4, volume 4 of Thousand Year Blood War? Or were you, or did you not watch it at all? And you just waited to binge watch it or something? Or it's just not your cup of tea? Either way, let me know what you think in the comments if you want to. And also like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, thank y'all so much for stopping by. And please remember to love and take care of yourself mentally, verbally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Bye bye. See y'all. Hold up. Bye bye. See y'all later.